In this video,
and they're both giving up victory. Stairs, no chance of south of there. Julie gonna win it right here. Down goes Jackson.
I don't think he's going to make this count whatsoever. Doesn't know where he is.
let's get straight to it.
Ricardo Finito Lopez.
The champion is Ricardo Lopez, and he is a good one. He's from Mexico City.
Lopez was razor sharp in his fight against Carabolas.
Walked into a pretty good right hand by little Ricardo Lopez. Ricardo Lopez, at 27 years old, is 2 years older than Caraballo. He has a 1-inch reach advantage over Caraballo, and they're both giving up victory. Down goes the challenger already. I don't know if he can recover. It's up to 4 and 5 and 6. He's not going to make it. He doesn't even bother to count him out. It's all over. Another first-round knockout for Ricardo Lopez.
An absolutely vicious right hand like a shotgun blast in the arena.
Tested it once earlier in the round. There it is right there, and he caught him right on the button with it. It's the long looping right hand, and it was lights out.
The punch was so quick the opponent didn't even see it coming. Lopez is truly an artist in the ring. He could probably knock you out and do a pirouette all before you even knew what hit you.
The shot came like a bolt out of the blue. I had just told you that he's coming off a first-round knockout over the Thai opponent, and he didn't even bother because this kid is knocked out cold. I think he's going to be all right.
And to see a smaller man by some 25 pounds standing in front of Joe Louis there and trading, that really is something. Oh, lovely left hook again from Khan. Sometimes getting the better of Joe Louis, and Lewis's legs have gone.
I've seen Joe Louis shaken up a few times, and this was certainly one of those times. A big left hook by Khan buckled Joe's knees, and another left hook had him backed into the ropes.
Almost put him over. Louis still hadn't recovered at this stage. That's another good uppercut. Well, Khan all of a sudden looks quite weary out there.
Khan was a fighter. If he got hit, he wanted to get you back immediately. You can't fight like that against Joe. The devastating short hooks by Louis are on full display as he pounds Khan to the canvas.
And getting through now with impunity here against Billy Khan, and he's gone over. Billy Khan on the floor in round 13. Has Joe Louis rescued victory from the jaws of defeat? And it's all over. Eddie Joseph has stopped it, so Joe Louis still the heavyweight champion of the world.
Khan was one of the few fighters who had faster hands than Joe, but that wasn't enough.
As you can see, they're very, very smart. Bit of work with the hands from Joe Louis, getting the elbow of Billy Khan, spinning him around, and there's the right hand to put him over. A terrific finish.
Well, it was a great fight tonight, and I know that Uncle Mike's going to give me another chance, and I know I can win it. I guess I had too much to win for tonight, and I tried to knock him out. Otherwise, I'd have won easy.
Terry Norris in his prime had hands so fast, they seemed to defy the laws of physics. If you blinked during one of his combos, you'd miss about 5 punches.
Good, solid lefts in close by Taylor, a right hand by Norris in exchange. Again, the right hand lands for Norris. Taylor's left not there to block it. Overhand right. Taylor wobbly.
Meldrick Taylor, who once danced around opponents with his own blazing speed, was now just a half step slower. Taylor's reflexes had always been his saving grace, but against Norris, they might have been on vacation.
These are right hands by Norris that have done the damage.
Norris, of course, has invested into some good...
Norris unleashed a combination so fast it looked like someone hit the fast-forward button on reality.
Norris missed an easy shot. Plenty of time left in the round.
Taylor, who normally would have slipped and ducked, found himself caught in a whirlwind, unable to block or dodge the incoming storm of punches.
Terry Norris's haircut is knockout, and that's what he's thinking about right now. Lou Duba yelling for Meldrick Taylor to clinch, but Meldrick keeps throwing leather and dropping his hands. Norris with the uppercut landed. He's trying to measure him and take a shot.
It's about pure heart now.
Come on, Mel.
Skills went out of the window.
Meldrick's still wobbly in there, George.
Put that jab up there.
Should he be grabbing and clinching?
He should, but he's got too much heart and soul. He's Philadelphia bred and trained.
Watch out for the brutal counter uppercut from Terry.
A chance to land one in return. Norris with another solid right. Meldrick is woozy on the ropes. Second knockdown. There'll be about 20 seconds left when the count is complete. Here comes Terry Norris to try to finish him off.
There's no 3 knockdown rule. Keep that in mind.
And there's no quit in Meldrick Taylor. A decision for Lane to make. He's very close to stopping it, and there it is.
Rightful decision.
Meldrick's trainer was shouting at him to clinch, but Meldrick wasn't the type. The referee took one look at Taylor, who probably didn't even know what planet he was on at that point, and wisely decided to call it off. I agree with the stoppage.
Meldrick Taylor almost got out of the round, but Terry Norris wouldn't let him. Mills Lane with a very tough decision, and you say, George, a good one.
A good decision. He's a young fighter. He still has a future ahead of him. He was fighting a bigger man. He didn't take an extra beating.
In the end, it was a classic case of old speed meeting new speed, and new speed winning by a landslide.
If you remember between rounds, Georgie Benton told Taylor, you must jab your way and get in close. But when he got in close, he got nailed. That's the danger of getting in close, George.
It was that shot right by the ear. So Norris is indeed a clever boxer. He's a puncher.
Now let's take a look at the second knockdown. We're going to, from some different angles. There was probably the hardest punch of the lot. And you can see Taylor is hurt. And a punch on top of the head sends him reeling. He's off balance, dazed.
Who gives you instructions for when you're hurt?
Only your heart and only your memory can give you those instructions.
And those shots, the first one was right on between the chin and the cheekbone, which is hard to recover from.
Interestingly, Terry Norris has a history of hitting fighters when they're down. He got disqualified for it once. He did it to both Leonard and Curry. He managed to restrain himself here, even though he had 2 free shots at Taylor as Taylor was going down.
Yeah, you practice for months and months. That's a hard thing to control.
Norris's hands were so fast, Taylor might have felt like he was fighting a guy with 8 arms.
There's Mills Lane stepping in with the final decision. He was in a neutral corner when he made the stoppage, and here was the reaction of Lou Duva.
And think about his work. Good right hand from Gamma. Perfect right hand. What a right hand from Gamma. And Chele is in all kinds of trouble there on the deck at the end of the first round. I don't think he's going to make this count whatsoever. Doesn't know where he is. Referee waves it off. And Gamma produces a sensational first round win.
Well, you're right, Ed. It's nice to see a heavyweight with power, but looking for that power and picking it. This is a quality shot of a left jab, a right hook, and that's an unusual shot. Not many fighters at any weight can throw that sort of punch. And you just watch this when we see a replay. I mean, really, really clean.
Chele is still very disorientated. They're trying to get him to sit down on a stool, but he's not too sure where he is.
No, it was a very, very heavy shot, and we did hear, you know, he didn't have the strongest of chins, but I tell you, any heavyweight would have gone over with that punch cleanly. It was a very, very good shot.
I always found this knockout to be particularly brutal because it's clear that the opponent just has no idea where he is or what just happened. Notice the classic "where am I" expression. Notice that the opponent had just dropped his hands after taking a right to the body, which seemed like an invitation for Gammer to send him on a quick trip to La La Land. With his defenses relaxed, he offered Gammer a golden opportunity, and Gammer didn't need a second invitation.
Jim, he's watching, and of course, Chele doesn't know what to do. His arms come out, and he really picked the punch firmly, feet firmly set.
Gammer's punch had done more than just end the fight. It had apparently sent the opponent on a short vacation from reality. The whole scenario was a reminder that in boxing, a lapse in defense can quickly turn into a first-class ticket to oblivion.
Yeah, it's very, very good work. I mean, there again we see it. Tremendous punches, body and chin as well.
He set out with a body shot first of all.
Yeah.
Chele has left the ring. He's okay. Obviously very shaken up from that though.
In his first defense of the European title, Hamed took on the experienced veteran Antonio Picardi. I can only imagine how weird it must have been for fighters to come to Sheffield and fight Hamed. His antics were something else. Sure, boxing had seen showmen before, but none quite as extreme as Hamed.
Learned from the video, he said he'd watched it. Oh dear. The southpaw left hand, straight as an arrow. Didn't travel very far, but he counted out. But he has been stopped a few times. He tipped this round, and it looks as though he's going to do it too, because
a really nice feint with the left hand set up the knockdown beautifully. In this fight, Hamed's unorthodox uppercut was on full display, and boy was it brutal. He was beating Cruz from pillar to post, and I thought the referee was well within his rights to stop the contest.
It was a straight left, straight through the middle, boom, see it there? Oh yeah. If you would have complimented me, I'd have just said, you say you're a great fighter or anything like that to me, Gary, I'd have just said, tell me something I don't know.
Oh, he launched into that left hook, and Thurbin is put on the floor in round 6. He makes sure he takes the 8. He got to 9, in fact, before Thurbin got up. He wanted to give himself a good rest, but really that was almost like a Nas-style rocket launcher from Bingham, that left hook, and he now will look to finish it. Thurbin, these are bad moments for him. He's got to cover up, he's got to get his way through this. He's leaving his head open, he's down again. Bingham senses that he's got him. The power of Bingham is going to be over. He's not made it. He hasn't made it, Nicky Thurbin. Ensley Bingham, at 35 years of age, retains the British light middleweight title. And once again, the force was too much.
Well, he finally found the punch, launching himself with that left hook. Never going to let Thurbin off the hook when he was allowed to continue.
This lead left hook was strikingly reminiscent of Roy Jones Jr.'s famous leaping left hook. I really like to see a lead left hook like this land. The punch was delivered with speed and precision, catching Thurbin off guard. Bingham got tremendous power into the punch.
Goodness me, he put so much into that punch, it was almost frightening.
Bingham is the kind of fighter who will always continue to apply pressure, showcasing his trademark aggression. Notice how he works the body effectively with a series of punishing shots, demonstrating his ability to mix up his attacks and keep his opponent guessing. Despite not securing a world championship, Bingham left a lasting impression on the British boxing scene in the 1990s. I really liked how he created space with subtle movement and then unleashed the powerful left hook, which sealed the victory.
19 wins in the career of Ensley Bingham. He doesn't fight that often, but 15 of those wins have come via the knockout route. He is still the British light middleweight champion.
We've gone through all the instructions one time. Expect a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Any question from the challenger? Any question from the champion? Let's get it on.
Jackson's hands are so heavy, they might as well come with their own warning label. But McClellan did his usual thing in round 1.
There it is, a big right hand. McClellan's waiting with the jab.
Jackson lands a big left hook and a flush right hand, and McClellan just keeps on coming, proving he's got a chin made of steel.
Really a catch-22 situation for Jackson. If he wins, people will say McClellan inexperienced, overrated.
In the last exchange, McClellan ran into a good left hook. He himself, for just a minute there, was stumbled and staggered.
That's the best thing that Jackson does, is come back from being hurt. He's hurt, but he comes back, and when he comes back, he's got power.
Despite being an offensive powerhouse, McClellan's aggressive style also leaves him open. He takes flush shots, but absorbs them like a sponge and keeps fighting back.
Jackson's just trying to get organized. Now watch that right hand, and that's what got him right hand crazy. That right hand put Jackson in trouble. Look.
Well, I'll tell you, what McClellan said he was going to do is use the jab, wait, and bang. Over the top, there it was. But
round 2 was a war zone.
And what happened in the corner of Julian Jackson was his corner told him, now start looking for the counter.
Despite Jackson's impressive record.
Something that has probably plagued Jackson in the past few fights. He's knocked so many people out so easily that he doesn't pay as much attention to defense.
Oh, 2 good body shots exchanged, one by Jackson, one by McClellan. These guys are not letting any aspect of the punishment game go by.
It's been McClellan who has been doing the testing to this point.
Jackson's been a little more effective now using a jab. McClellan's laid off.
Both fighters were hurt and McClellan had to cling to the ropes.
Into another gear in the second round. Fight, almost as if he didn't believe his good luck in that first round.
Jackson's right hand had serious extension, and McClellan's distance management was clearly off.
McClellan, who comes back strong, but back comes Jackson.
He's a vicious man.
McClellan thinks Jackson is looking ahead to Terry Norris, who is sitting ringside off to our right.
Well, I don't think either one of these two guys got anything in mind except survival here. And Gerald is looking scared.
Big right hand by Julian Jackson, sending McClellan back. Now Jackson beginning to open up more.
At this point, he might have been more concussed than a piñata at a birthday party.
McClellan, he's getting intimidated here.
Well, Jackson's completely turned the tables from the first round, but McClellan also still a dangerous fighter. Right hand, and now Jackson winging big shots, gaining confidence as the round goes on.
Jackson's hands are very heavy, and when they land, even though it's off to the side of the head, it hurts, and he's feeling it now. That's what's getting him intimidated.
McClellan tried to regroup with his jab in round 3, but Jackson was relentless. Jackson's punches were thunderous, and McClellan's ability to take them was astonishing, albeit worrying.
What a right hand by Julian Jackson. That's that counter that he was measuring him for, and it landed. You can't just flick an idle jab out there and not expect Julian to come over, and he did.
I haven't seen McClellan in a lot of fights where he's gotten hit hard, and I was always wondering just how good is his chin, and right now it doesn't seem to be too bad.
McClellan hanging in there.
Yeah, Bobby, he seems very impressed, however, by the power of Julian Jackson. And Julian's cut. Unintentional butt, and Julian is cut.
Julian Jackson complaining. There's a big left hand by McClellan.
Keep firing him now, okay? Keep letting him go. Dig that left hook more. Man is getting tired now, but you're letting him get away with too many shots.
After receiving some advice, McClellan came out swinging. Jackson targeted the body with a vengeance.
Ooh. Right on the bridge of the nose, right where the cut is.
Right on the butt.
McClellan continues to land effectively with the right.
Julian Jackson, low.
That was a big, heavy shot down south.
Another one.
Another one.
And McClellan needs a breather. Mills Lane says...
A low blow from Jackson was probably like getting kicked by a mule.
Yeah, and it was 2 in a row. It wasn't just one. And so now, all of a sudden, no matter how much time to give him,
That was the second time. Next time, you're going to cost your point, okay?
and reflex, and that takes your legs out from under you. Ooh, nice shot by Julian.
As he goes upstairs, no chance of south of there.
Julian got a winner right in.
Down goes Jackson. A left hook by Gerald McClellan almost sent him through the ropes.
He is in serious trouble. His legs are not there. This fight could very well be over right this minute.
And there's a minute left to go.
Can McClellan finish him off? He's down again.
He's not going to make this, Bobby. He's not going to make this. Julian Jackson doesn't know where it's at. It's over.
Mills Lane has stopped the fight. And Gerald McClellan has upset Julian Jackson, and he is the new WBC middleweight champion.
After that first knockdown, you could see he was totally out. He got up just on reflexes, and it was just academic after that. He could not have overcome it in the minute some odd left.
His head was not clear, and his legs were not under him, and that is the sign of when it's just about done.
And Bobby, it was a lightning-like 3-blow combination.
The replay showed McClellan's punches were on the money. McClellan's lead right hand was pinpoint accurate, and Jackson had his warrior mentality, fired back despite being hurt.
Here's the second one, and by this time it was academic because Julian was gone. That's it. Right there is the end of that.
Again, his legs weren't under him.
What happened after the fight was a real shocker. McClellan seemed to be celebrating, but it looked more like he was wincing in pain. He was blinking and looked extremely concussed. In my opinion, he sustained a significant brain injury. Nobody ever took punches like that from Jackson and walked away unscathed. It seemed like everyone missed how hurt McClellan really was.
I figured that Garcia would really try to land some big punches early on.
Short right hand scores by Danny Garcia. Boulware counters back and comes back to the center of the ring. A decent combination by Boulware. He now holds and lands a couple of shots to the ribcage with the right.
question on Chuck McGregor's mind in the corner is, how long is Boulware going to be able to keep up this job he's doing of moving laterally, throwing those combinations? Oh, he just got wobbled.
Wobbled by the right hand, the short right, Danny Garcia, and he sends him to the canvas here in round 2.
I think that might have been a short left hook that got his attention first and wobbled him, and then the right hand, I think, sent him to the canvas after that.
1990s middleweight Danny Garcia made his opponent do the chicken leg there after that left hook.
Tries to finish off Boulware and pull the upset. Boulware on spaghetti legs here early in round 2. He's against the ropes, looks like he's going to go again, and he does.
Boy, and I'll tell you, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to clinch and hold on to Garcia. Might have been able to weather the storm a little bit better. We've got the 3 knockdown rule. One more time, and he's out of here, and we got a lot of time left in this round.
The opponent just can't avoid the left hook.
Hook scores. The uppercut. Boulware's going to go down. That's it. An upset scored here. Max Parker Jr. not calling that a knockdown.
He does not score
a knockdown. Against the ropes, but it does look like it's going to be lights out for Boulware, and he is out of it. Max Parker's got to stop it, and there he goes. Danny Garcia. An electrifying upset in round 2, and this one, a shocker here at the Sundo.
I really admire boxers who keep getting up despite being very hurt. Here, the resilience of Boulware is so impressive. It's almost as if he's got springs in his boots and a personal vendetta against staying down. I just think this fight was over after that first left hook and chicken legging. It's very hard to come back from that.
And there really was no follow-up right hand. It was the left hook in and of itself that sent Boulware to the canvas the first time. We had 3 knockdowns in this round. Here's the second one. As Boulware is still on unsteady legs, look at him trying to avoid Garcia. He got hit a little bit before that and just went right into the ropes. The third knockdown, as you see the pain on Boulware's face, a combination by Garcia. Closing his eyes, you can't even see the punches coming. Good left hook accentuates the whole thing. Now that should have been a knockdown, or could have been called a knockdown, as the ropes were the only thing that held Boulware up. But Max Parker let it go on a little bit further, and Boulware got in a corner and was knocked down. The third knockdown, mandatory stoppage of the fight.
And a fortunate and timely one as well, as Ulysses Boulware was completely out of it when the fight was stopped. And we get a look at the final flurry.
Yeah, here we go. He could have stepped in any time and ended it here. Boulware was virtually defenseless, and Max wisely steps in and stops it. And that's 3 knockdowns. Actually, could have been 4 knockdowns in round number 2. Good puncher, Danny Garcia. Really showed us something tonight.
And a gaze into the eyes of Ulysses Boulware. There you see our winner, Danny Garcia, who had a reputation as an Aaron Pryor type. We figured he was going to come storming across the ring in round 1. He may have surprised Boulware somewhat. With a very patient attack in that opening stanza, a relatively even round, tough one to score. We have the official announcement of the time. A surprising upset here. Round 2 knockout by Danny Garcia.
Byron Mitchell came into Joe's hometown and proved that he wasn't here to make up the numbers.
Like it did against Frankie Lyles, and there's good body work by Mitchell. So as bad as Mitchell. Oh, wow.
Down goes Calzaghe for the first time in his career, and he gets up in wobbly fashion. Unbelievable. Out of nowhere. Midway through the second round, and you called it. Here's Mitchell.
He can punch. Calzaghe's in big trouble, and he's not boxing.
Mitchell to the outside. Mitchell goes down. A second round right out of Hollywood with a minute to go in round 2. A flash knockdown. Mitchell got up quickly. 2 knockdowns in this second round. First Calzaghe for the first time ever, and then Mitchell for the 5th time in his career. Unbelievable action. Oh, what a shot by Calzaghe. And what has to be a candidate for round of the year.
We expected a quick start, but nothing like this.
Non-stop action.
Calzaghe's throwing and missing a lot of punches, though. He has to be careful.
It's all over. Dan Paris has stopped the fight near the end of round 2 as Mitchell bounced off the ropes. He says he's seen enough, and Calzaghe wins in a wild affair.
I thought that Mitchell really threw this fight away. He was way too wild after he hurt Joe. He realized Joe was hurt badly by the knockdown and just threw caution to the wind. I think he could have kept the pressure on, but he could have been more carefully defensive.
A lot of grit and determination and a lot of composure in many respects by coming back. He did it in a wild fashion, but he was still able to come back. Mitchell left himself open, and Calzaghe, throwing wide, wild punches, was able to land against Mitchell. That left hand was right on the point of the chin, and that put Mitchell down for actually the only time in this round.
When fighters get hurt, they usually go into pure instinct. In this fight, we saw that Joe's instinct is just to start swinging when he's badly hurt. I think Joe was a really great champion. He had a warrior's heart.
And the referee stepping in to stop it.
I was going in for the finish, and he caught me coming in.
Was it a mistake that you made there?
Yeah, I think so.
In the second round, I slipped, man, but no, he caught me with a good punch. And the first time I went down in my professional career. But, you know, you always think what would happen one day if you got put down? How would you respond? And I think I showed a champion's heart. You know, I got straight back up, my equilibrium, my senses. I was more embarrassed than anything. Being down for the first time in life, I stood up, and I knew, I could see Barry, I knew he'd rush me to try and finish me. So I stepped back, counter-punched him and dropped him as well. Then I had him shaken. Whether the referee should have stopped it, that's up to the referee.